Hello everybody. Hope you liked my first video that I did about the constitutional monarchy in Canada and why I support it. But the second video I want to do is talk about discrimination towards people with intellectual disabilities. I myself have an intellectual disability. Two, matter of fact. One is ADHD and two is Asperger's, the system of autism. And I see a lot of discrimination towards people with intellectual disabilities through education, employment, and social life in their communities. And I am one of them, of the story of the discrimination through employment, education, and in their community. My education is not that great because I have left it in the 12th grade due to the fact of bullying, personal ill health, and the education that I was getting. It's not that the education was bugging me, it's just the support I was getting. I remember my special needs teacher, that which I will not name. She told me that I could never ever go to university. Never. College or university. Never. Heck, would never get my high school diploma. But funny enough, several months earlier, I seen a video. A person with Down syndrome in a university succeeding with great education in the university. And I thought to myself, how can my special needs teacher say to me that I cannot have a good education or go to college, university, or get a high school education, but a person with Down syndrome is in university? That doesn't add up. So what I did was I left to go to four-year high school, which I am not proud to say that I didn't last long there because of my not smart decisions and my idiotic, or definitely to be precise, my stupidity actions. So I got expelled. Then I went to a high school in Port Colborne called Lakeshore. That didn't last long because my teacher, I can definitely say the teacher I had there, I didn't see eye to eye, and plus that's when my personal ill health started, so I had to leave. And ever since then, I tried to get my GED, didn't happen, and I'm still fighting to find that right and goal to go to college or university. But it's not as a student, like you graduate from high school. It's an adult student. It's completely different. I don't know how that's different, but it is. And that's now, and I'm doing quite well. Now on to employment. I had a little bit of discrimination. I will not say where I worked, but I will say that I didn't get the help, or I wouldn't say I got the help, but I didn't get the patience that I needed. I don't know how to word it, to be honest. I don't know how to word it. I think the foreman just didn't know how to work. I would just say the foreman. Just leave it at that. The foreman didn't know how to handle me as a person with an intellectual disability. So long story short, I was released. And since then, I have been sending handy out resumes, finding jobs, but nobody's actually hiring. I guess I'm not the only one. I can say the whole entire world is looking for jobs. And I a little bit discriminate now. The third part, I see discrimination in my community. I cannot go around the corner without being feared of being judged or looked at or looked down upon. And it really infuriates me. And you know what? With my disability, I do have a little bit of anger issues, which I will completely open up to. And I said a lot of things that wasn't in the right appropriate time or in the right appropriate way. And that's part of my disability. And people just, I might not, like I always say to my last video, I might not make sense. I could have been saying complete utter nonsense, but this is what I feel. But I just don't think people don't know how to handle people with intellectual disabilities. And it's quite funny because I was watching a Special Olympics video of a black woman and an African American woman who had a disability, and she was up in Korea during the Winter Olympics summit there. And I gotta say, she definitely inspired me, because she has the fire to say there is still a lot of work to do for people with disabilities to be recognized, to be heard, to be included in their communities, to be included in their education, and in employment, and part of the community as a whole. And I'm just sorry, I'm not rambling, but I'm just trying to think. It's just, I think it's time for a change, that people should respect a little bit more. And there's a lot of people who respect people with intellectual disabilities, but it's just they need a little bit more. I think they need a little more respect and responsibility. I'm not saying responsibility, but mostly definitely respect. Because it's just not, I have been discriminated against since as long as I can remember in school in general. I can remember being looked down upon and be called names, and I can remember the longest time. I'm not once through elementary school and high school, maybe once or twice in a rare bloom we got invited to at like an actual high school party off the school premise, a high school party. And I just find it quite amazed that, I'm not bad, I'm not a freak, I was born this way, as the Lady Gaga quote. I was born with a disability. It's not I just catched it, I was born with it. It's just really angry. It really angers me that, there's a lot of discrimination out there towards people with intellectual disabilities. It's just really, this video, like I said, this video might make sense, but this is just my personal thoughts. There's just a lot of discrimination for people towards people with intellectual disabilities. There's just a lot of discrimination, and there should be a change, a social, I'm not saying economic, but a huge scale of change of attitudes towards people with intellectual disabilities. That's my thoughts on that.